Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University, and let's talk about Iron Fist Season 2 on Netflix. Okay, well, I really liked it up until that last episode. Realistically, mind you, there is going to be some spoilers in this. Just, it is what it is. I was really enjoying it. I know my wife was saying this is really boring. She actually pulled out her phone. It was only 10 episodes long as opposed to the typical 13. That's good. But there wasn't even 10 episodes worth of story in this. A lot of it was mostly just talking and conversing and guessing and second guessing and triple guessing. It's like, dude, oh my God, just come to a conclusion. But for the most part, I liked it. My wife did pull out her phone and started playing with Facebook. And then she plugged in her headphones and started looking at her own thing. I'm just like, well, let's just go in the bedroom, man. Like, I was patient for the whole thing, you know, expecting there's going to be a payoff because you can't have this much talking without something actually happening. Mind you, my wife likes those Victorian era shows, so the Jane Austen type thing, where all they do is talk and gossip and dance and plan and plot to get a man. And it's like, dude, it's so freaking boring. Just shoot me now. And she got bored watching this. Just give you an idea. So, still, I patiently sat through everything. Genuinely, not like struggling. No, I genuinely sat patiently. I thought that the dialogue was really good. It didn't feel like, you know, trope diatribe or anything. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed listening to them politely converse with each other or violently. I thought that Finn Jones did a much better job this season than in the first season. Even in Defenders, he did a good job as Iron Fist. But in the first season of Iron Fist, he just wasn't believable. You know, here he was much more believable. He was more built. He actually looked the part of an Iron Fist. Great acting, you know, for the most part. Yeah, I enjoyed pretty much everything in this. Excuse me. Davos. See, Davos in the first season wasn't really much of a tough guy. At least he just didn't get portrayed as a tough guy to me. He was somebody who's just very indecisive and bleh, whatever, you know? He was kind of rewritten here to be a much tougher SOB. And I think that if he would have had about 4 or 5 inches on Danny as opposed to Danny having them on him, I think that he would have come off as a much better villain. See, Davos the Steel Serpent is a huge dude in the comic books. He's much bigger than Danny Rand. Like, Danny ain't winning an Iron Fist arm wrestling contest. You know what I'm saying? It would not happen. Davos is just way too big for that. Here, the guy playing Davos was like 4 inches shorter than Danny. He didn't come off as intimidating. You know, I don't want to do any like body shaming or anything like that, but I mean, yeah, he just didn't come off as very intimidating. Believe me, it wasn't just his size. Like, to be really mean, I mean, even like the shape of his head and everything, the size of his head compared, you know, proportionally to his body. I'm just looking at this guy like I am not intimidated by this guy at all. Not at all. If he were walking up to me, I'd look at him and be like, oh, hi, Cupcake, how are you? It's nice to see you. Are you very upset? Are you very upset right now? It's okay. We're going to get out a little napkin. I'm going to dry the tears out of your eyes. It's okay, little baby. It's okay. Like, I'm just not at all impressed by his stature, his physicality, anything. There was nothing to be intimidated by in Davos. Nothing. That being said, you know, again, I hate to sit there and just, you know, constantly berate on his looks. His acting was actually pretty good. Granted, he had the English accent, which I think was very unnecessary. Right, I'm the Iron Fist, and I'm going to come and kick your bleeding ass. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, it wasn't nearly that bad. But come on, man. I think we're in a bit of a conundrum then, aren't we? No, we're not. Shut up. Psh, you're being silly. Are you okay? Did I hurt you? Like, dude, what is this guy? This guy was just... He wasn't a very believable, credible villain. When he was talking, sure, but when he's, you know, I'm going to take care of this myself. You shouldn't do that. That's a really bad idea. That's kind of like a lawyer representing himself in court. You may think you know what you're doing, but dude, you're just a wee little guy, man. I mean, come on. I just want to pick you and a 4-leaf clover out of a big old freaking Irish setting and just make a wish. I mean, come on, dude. You know, like, I'll let you go if you tell me where your pot of gold is, you know, and give me a bowl of Lucky Charms, damn it. Like, the guy just was not impressive. I can't get over that. I cannot get past that. Here's your villain. And he's a little cupcake. Yeah, sorry, man. Maybe you get one of those Victorian era shows. Sorry. But, oh, God, I'm being such a jerk in this, but it's just so blatant. It's terrible. Terrible choice to be Davos. You know, he was perfectly fine, I guess, in the first season. But now where he's actually supposed to be a tough guy, this is where you recast, like they did with Joy Meacham. I don't know why Joy didn't want to come back. Maybe it's because the first one stunk up so bad she thought it was going to ruin her career. She probably wouldn't have been wrong. But granted, season 2 was so much better than season 1. Okay, so here's where I'm going to get into some serious spoilers, okay? Colleen Wing actually winds up getting the Iron Fist, which blew my mind. I get the idea of, okay, we're going to give it to, you know, we're going to talk about giving it to her now. But the whole time I'm just thinking, okay, so where's the twist going to be? Where's the thing going to be where she's supposed to get it, but all of a sudden Danny is forced to get it back anyway, and he's got to be the bearer of this burden? Because I'm okay with the idea of being the bearer of the burden. But instead, Colleen Wing actually gets it. Now, granted, I was still happy, you know, ish. I was like, ooh, please let the you know, when her fist glows, please let it be nice and green. Because, like, Danny Rand it's golden yellow. This knucklehead over here, Davos, the cupcake serpent, his is red. But I'm thinking to myself, maybe, just maybe, hers is going to be like a really cool green, because that would be awesome. Instead, it was white. Yeah, I'm not going to complain. Now, I don't remember the name. Wei Lao, I think is her name. The Pirate of Ping Bay. It's so funny. I just did a spotlight on story for the Immortal Iron Fist, the first 6 issues, and that will actually come out on Saturday. This is technically Saturday. I'm recording this, but not the point. It's going to come out next Saturday. The let's see, what is that day? It's one of those days. It's the 15th. Okay, so on the 15th of September, the Immortal Iron Fist, issue number 1 through 6, will be spotlighted on story. Issue number 7, for the sake of conversation, is actually the story of Wei Lao, whatever her name is, the Pirate of Ping Bay. So it's cool that it seems like, what's-her-face, Colleen Wing, seems to be a relative of her, a long-distant descendant. Totally awesome, man. Now she's got an Iron Fist, too. Let's do it, baby. Misty Knight was in this. She was just your typical very mean, breaking the law, walking in and things like that. And for me, I was kind of laughing because for me, it's like you're a cop, and this woman who you're just walking into her apartment multiple times for, acting like a tough gal, this woman is a 1%er. She's one of the 1% of America's wealth, right? The world's wealth, I guess. And somehow she's susceptible to going to jail. These people don't play fair. The crimes that they commit dozens of times over, we'd get sentenced to prison for just one of those things. They're too big to jail, too big to fail, you know? So I don't see why she was scared at all. I mean, well, I could see scared, but I don't see why she was worried. I don't see why she was afraid of going to jail. That just doesn't happen to rich people for the most part. Sorry, Trading Places wasn't a real movie. Wasn't a real story. It's just a movie. Pretty good movie, too. The point is, I didn't see the whole intimidation factor as being something that would have been effective, at least not with me. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't feeling it. But it is what it is. Whatever. The thing is, I feel like they need to make Misty Knight assertive, but not actually someone who's going to break the law for herself or for someone else. And she was breaking the law multiple times here, you know? Yeah. Anyway, Joy Meacham's multiple face turn, heel turn thing back and forth, I started to get a little dizzy with that, is what it is. Ward was interesting in this. I don't know, man. The end of this, though, first off, the last issue, like I said, the last episode, I'm glad they only did 10 episodes, even though they really only had 6 episodes worth of story. I'd say 8, just to be really fair. They probably had 8 issues worth of a story. That's cool. I'm all right with it. Episodes. That 10th episode, it ended halfway through. So the rest should have been just credits on repeat, I suppose, but they decided to keep the story going. I kind of wish I wouldn't have seen those after credit scenes, whatever that was, where they're in Sholau and where they're in just someplace in Tibet, China, whatever. They're not inside Sholau the dragon. That would just be, they would be dinner then. They're in someplace in the Far East, and at one point the big guy stands up, and the young guy, he pulls out a gun, bang, he takes a shot, and and they were asking for Orson Randall, who is the guy who actually had the Iron Fist body that they sent over to Davos, or it was stolen from him. It's a really weird thing. Anyway, this guy just turns around, he's like, oh yeah, bang, and he takes a shot. And Danny Rand goes and stands up, and he pulls off his outer coat so you can see that he's got 2 pistols strapped under his arm in holsters. And he just pulls them out. Woo. Oh yeah? Bang, bang. And he causes the Iron Fist to glow. How to get the Iron Fist back? That's okay. I don't actually care. And the bullets fire, and like in the ultimate expression of CGI, they just kind of go whoop like this and hit the other bullet. So he fired 2 bullets to stop the 1 bullet. Yeah, I don't want to see Danny Rand as Orson Randall. That's not what I'm interested in seeing at all. No, not at all. So I don't know if this was necessarily handled great. I really would like to hear from you guys in the comments below. Did you like season 2? Because I personally, I didn't dislike it, but again, that final episode, just so boring, man. So boring. Like, they finished it, and it should have been like a 20 to 25 minute episode, because the other half of this episode was just so weird, so pointless. All these little loose ends they're trying to it was like I'm playing Chrono Trigger, except in a boring format, a soap opera format. I don't really have much else to go. I'm actually falling asleep here as I'm talking. But, yeah, this wasn't great necessarily. I actually found myself going back and watching the first half of the first episode, like episode 1, season 1, just because that actually felt better than that last episode, It is what it is. So seriously, tell me what you guys thought of season 2. All right, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.